Hi, the internet. Welcome to the What Else Show. I'm your host, Robert. This is Bethany.
Hi, internet.
And today we've got a brand new What Else show for you. Bethany, what else are we talking about today?
Today we are doing another one of our series of first episodes.
Sure. I think it's first episode's number 4.
Number 4.
Maybe.
It is number 4. Yes, you're correct. We watched the first episode of Quantum Leap.
We watched the first episode of Quantum Leap. It was a 2-hour special when it came out.
2 hours.
I think it was 2 episodes put together.
Yes.
When it first came out in 1989.
Yes, it was 2 episodes when it first came out.
1989.
1989.
On what network did it come out?
The first episode aired on March 26th, 1989 on NBC.
NBC, killing the game. That's probably why it's on the NBC app where you can get it. You know, you can watch
that would
it.
make sense.
You can watch it for free with ads on the NBC app.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
Or you
Where
can
to find
buy each episode on the Google Store or Vudu, or, you know, you can buy them.
Yeah.
So they're out there. They're not on, like a good streaming service.
Well, I mean, it is from 1989, so
Yes.
you know.
Starring Scott Bakula.
Scott Bakula.
And the other guy. So what are some of your memories from this show? Did you used to watch this show?
I did used to watch this show. I don't remember ever seeing the first episode. Never watched the first episode, so that was kind of fun to finally see the first episode. I do remember growing up, I'd watched it at my friend's house, and I mean, we would just be like glued to the screen when it came on. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I do remember some of the episodes very fondly. Yeah, it was really kind of a staple evening.
I think I remember the show in reruns on the Sci-Fi Channel. I think it used to come on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Yep, that was
and
a thing.
I don't think I ever watched it, but sometimes there would be nothing on and I would watch it. But I can't remember any
episodes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay, let's get into it. Let's first episode, Quantum Leap. What happened?
First episode. So right off the bat, we see Al, who's
right off the bat, the Quantum Leap intro isn't there.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, there's no intro, no opening credits. The show just starts.
Cold open.
Suddenly, you're watching the show. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We open up and there's Al, we don't know who he is, driving down the road. We're supposed to think this is the future, I guess. I mean, that's what they're making it feel like.
They made it pretty clear it was supposed to be in the future. So he's wearing weird clothes.
There's a lot of light.
There's a lot of light, a lot of
light,
like accessories
light
lit up
accessories,
with neon. Yes, it's very weird.
You ever go to Fright Night at Universal Studios and there's all the stuff that's got like lights on it that you're wearing? That's kind of the look. He pulls up next to a woman who's stranded on the side of the road in his future car.
Yes.
And she gets in the car with him.
Yes.
And he gets a call from Gushy.
Yeah.
That Sam has leaped or is leaping or is in the chamber.
He's in the chamber. He's leaping.
And we don't know what's going on.
What do we do? And so Al very clearly was like, well, we can't stop him because it might kill him. But we're not really given an explanation.
Yeah, it's very mysterious. The whole show is very mysterious.
Yes,
the whole first episode. Cut to Scott Bakula, Sam, main character, Beckett.
Sam Beckett.
He wakes up in a bed next to a pregnant woman, and he's got very little knowledge of what's going on. He's got kind of an amnesia.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's really struggling.
He doesn't know what's going on.
To remember, like, he has no clue. Yeah.
That goes on for a little while. He gets to know the family, gets to know he's got a kid, a pregnant wife. He gets to know he's a test pilot.
Yes.
He's a test pilot for the X2.
Yes, and he's terrified.
He's terrified because he doesn't know how to fly.
Yes.
He knows he's not Tom, whatever, the guy Tom Pilot, whose body he's in.
Yes.
He knows he's not him, but he doesn't know who he actually is.
Yes, that's correct.
Yes. And he's telling all of his pilot friends that he doesn't know how to fly, and they think it's all a joke.
They think he's kidding. Like, apparently this guy is like really kind of a jokester, and like nobody takes him seriously. And then eventually Al shows up.
Al shows up as a hologram. And so there's, some conversations that ensue, and he's the only one that can see or hear Al. Al kind of explains how that's possible, and like physics, science stuff, and he doesn't want to give Sam too much information.
Yes, because apparently it was a highly classified project. Right,
and if he gives him information, the way that it works is it's not going to work the way it's supposed to.
Right. Yes. So there's a big concern there.
Okay.
About information.
So, what happens after that? He gets on the plane, and then somebody else is doing the test flight, and he doesn't fly.
Yeah, so so he's like part of a chase team apparently on this initial flight. So he goes up in the plane, and the main pilot was like, "Oh, okay, take over for a second or whatever," and he just kind of like freaks out. But everybody thinks this whole time that he's just messing with them.
Yeah,
like they won't listen to him when he's like, "No, I don't know how to fly." Stop telling me to fly the plane. So eventually he and Al kind of try and figure out, with the help of this supercomputer, which is Ziggy. So Ziggy is the one that comes up with like, well, here's what we think, here's what he thinks he's supposed to do.
It's like a future computer.
Yes, it's very future-y. And so he gets information from Ziggy through Al. Al is like the conduit of all that information. And so eventually they come up with a plan, what they think is supposed to happen.
Can I interject here with just some thoughts on Al?
Yes.
He's kind of an eccentric character that's
very eccentric.
Like kind of helping Sam.
He's kind of helping, but also he seems like he might be an alcoholic.
And he seems like he's like doesn't really care.
It seems like he's
preoccupied with his own life back in the future.
Yes, he's very preoccupied.
Yeah. It's a very odd dynamic.
It's very odd.
His future clothes and future technology are also pretty funny. And he's the only one we actually ever see from the future besides Gushy for like a second in the beginning.
Yes. Yeah. At least in the first episode.
Yes.
Yeah. Like maybe they come up later. But
I mean, we're only talking about the first episode.
Yeah.
Which is the 2 episodes put together into one episode. I don't know.
It was a little confusing the way that it was.
Wasn't my decision. Yeah. To me, it actually feels like 1.5 episodes. No, it feels more like 1.5 episodes plus a half an episode is what it actually feels like.
Oh,
because we're going to get into that right now.
Yes, we're going to get into that right now. Okay, so
he's a test pilot, and what Ziggy figures out is that he has to break Mach 3 in his experimental X-2 aircraft.
He has to set the record.
And not die.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the mistake that they think they're trying to fix, is that he died.
That he died.
Yes.
Right.
And so,
but Ziggy is an idiot of a supercomputer and he's got it all wrong.
He got it all wrong. So they do the plan. They follow the plan. Instead of having to land, he just ejects from the plane. He lands safely. He lives. But he doesn't leap home. So, they kind of build up this like, yes, this is the answer and this is what's going to happen.
Did we really even talk about leaping? What was supposed to happen with his experiment is that he was supposed to leap back. I've been a little confused. He's supposed to leap into his own life to fix things. Yes.
So he leapt into Tom the pilot. Tom the pilot. So Tom the pilot is actually in the future with Al and Ziggy and Gushy.
Yeah.
So it like pushed him out of this timeline. And so basically Sam is taking the place of these people, and they get pushed out, and Sam, supposedly the way it's supposed to work is he fixes the mistake, and then they come back and he switches places with them. He goes back to his time.
Right.
That's how it's supposed to work.
That's how it's supposed to work.
Yes.
Cut to he is in the hospital because his wife went into premature labor just because he was in an airplane crash. I mean, the plane crashed. He jumped out.
Yeah. But she heard the explosion.
Premature labor.
You
know, women are.
And she's a drama queen, obviously. So, yeah.
Sam starts to remember some of his past life, and he was a doctor in his past life.
Yes.
And they don't want the baby to be prematurely born when they're not with a specialist for premature.
Right. They don't babies. Have a specialist there.
Right. So they need to take her to LA, but they don't want to do that because she's in labor. But Sam has a doctorate, is a doctor, does doctory things. Knows medical stuff.
Yes.
And he says, oh, no, we can stop her from being in labor and then we can move her. And they're like, that's stupid. And then he says, no.
Here's how you do it.
Here's how you do it. And
he explains to the doctor, blah, blah, blah. That's how you do it. And so that's what they did.
Yeah. So that's what they did. And that's what makes him leap out.
Yes. Saving the life of the baby, because I guess the baby originally was stillborn.
Yes.
And so they saved the life of the baby. So they had it totally wrong. It wasn't about Sam. It was about the baby. So
Tom. It wasn't about Tom.
Sorry. It wasn't about Tom.
God, can't you follow Tom the pilot?
There are a lot of characters.
Tom the pilot.
So Pilot Tom.
Samantha the stillborn baby. Keep follow along.
Okay, so they save the baby's life.
Yes.
And that's when Sam does the leap.
Yeah, the leap, which means he switches bodies.
He switches bodies.
Switches to a baseball player in the 1970s.
He still doesn't go home. He switches to this baseball player.
Yep.
And so he's really disoriented when we realize that he's now in another new body, setting. Yeah.
But then Al shows up and explains to him, well, I guess maybe just keep going through these and fix some stuff, and that's how you're gonna get home.
Travel through time.
And he's like, I can't travel through time forever. And he makes a remark like, nobody lives forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like he doesn't care about him at all.
He does not care. He's so, like you said, he's very preoccupied with his life. Like he talks about the women that he's seeing, and he talks about drink. He's constantly hungover. He's just constantly hungover. Like I don't know how he's helpful with anything because he's just constantly hungover.
Now this next scene is what sets up the whole show. I think is that he calls his father. Right. And without saying it, I think that's why he created the leap machine in the first place, is to save his father from dying.
Yes.
Yeah. But they don't say it outright.
Say that.
But they really allude to it because he's so emotional when he calls his father.
Calls his father. His father died in 75.
I don't remember.
Something.
Doesn't
matter. His dad died in like the mid 70s or something. He mentions it in the episode when his father died. And so he really wants to call his dad, but Al won't tell him his last name. For the longest time, Al refused to give him any information. He's like, I just need my last name. Doesn't want to give him any
information, yeah.
So finally, Al tells him his last name. He calls his dad. He has a tearful, conversation with him. He pretends to be kind of a long-lost relative or whatever. And like you said, he's very, very super emotional. And then he gets back. It was like... I don't know how baseball works. It was like
what do you mean you don't know
intermission. I don't know.
Intermission, there were other people betting.
Oh, yeah. So people were out there betting. I don't know anything about sports. So he was waiting for his turn at bat. And so that was when he made the phone call. He comes back to the field. He's up at bat. What happened was the team lost the game. Mm-hmm. He actually did not win the game for them. So he ends up winning the game for him.
Right.
For them.
Sure.
He ends up winning the game for them.
The Bombers?
The Bombers, yes, thank you. The Waco, Texas Bombers.
Wow, I didn't say it like that, but okay.
The Waco, Texas Bombers, yeah. Well, that was the team.
Okay.
Yeah. So, anyway, he wins the game, and then he leaps home. Or leaps, nope.
He doesn't leap home.
Doesn't leap home.
That'd be a short series.
Then he leaps again.
Yeah, he leaps again.
Yeah.
And he leaps into what looks like he's like a teacher.
Yes.
He's got like a pipe and glasses. Yeah. A very stereotypical teacher.
Professor. Some kind of professor.
Leaps into this new guy, and then that's the end.
And then, and that's the end of the episode. So that kind of, like you said, kind of sets up the rest of the episodes.
Yeah, I know from memory that the show is just him leaping into a bunch of different things and never actually getting home.
Different characters and
Yeah.
So that's how it ended.
So what do you think? Come on.
The character of Al, I really liked. He's
weird.
He's weird. He's obnoxious. He's eccentric. He wears the weirdest clothes.
They're future clothes.
Future clothes. But he's still kind of likable. He's kind of endearing.
Yeah, somehow.
Maybe an alcoholic. I don't know.
Somehow endearing, but not endearing at all. I don't know.
Like, he's kind of a jerk at the beginning.
He's kind of a jerk through the whole thing.
He's just such a jerk. But kind of like Al. Al's fun. Sam is just trying to figure out how to get home.
Scott Bakula's a pretty good actor.
He is a good actor.
And you know what I liked? I liked his internal dialogue when he's trying to figure things out. I don't know.
I forgot to mention that.
Just something about it that, I don't know, it's engaging. There was one scene that I'll highlight that I liked, that I thought was funny, is after the plane crash, he's being examined by a doctor, and Al shows up, and Sam is talking to Al, but the doctor is talking to him. So every time Sam is replying to Al, the doctor thinks he's talking to him. And it's just fun. It's just funny. It just works.
Yeah.
Yeah. What didn't you like? I'll tell you what I didn't like.
Hard to say.
It was an hour and a half long without commercials, and a lot of it drags on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good that we have time with the characters, but I feel like it just drags. They need to get moving. Maybe I'm just used to modern television, but they need to have some pep in their step, you know?
Yes, I agree. Yes, yeah. I totally agree with that. Yeah, it got a little like, I think we can move on from this scene now. Like I think that's enough.
We get it. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Because Al is a hologram, there are some special effects in the show.
Oh, yeah, they're not great.
Now, to be fair, it's the 80s.
Yeah.
Right? And so they're, the special effects don't hold up.
No, sure don't.
They don't hold up.
There's not that many of them,
There's not that many. They don't overdo it, which is good. There's a little kid on the show in the first episode. Couldn't stand him. He was terrible.
Doesn't matter, but then he hates kids. So, duh. Duh, we knew that was your answer.
But I would say that, like, the caliber of acting was much, much higher than I had expected. I knew that Scott Bakula was a good actor. And I had forgotten that Dean Stockwell even plays Al. So, again, like those two, they were really big in like the 80s and 90s. And so, I thought they did a great job. So I think my only complaint was the runtime, kind of the dragging and the special effects that don't really hold up.
Are you going to try and watch more episodes?
I don't know. I might. I don't know. I don't know that it's engaging enough now. I don't know that it holds up enough now for me to be like, oh yeah, I really need to watch this. It was more of a nostalgia feeling.
As a first episode, I could see how this could get people to want to watch this.
Yeah.
Unlike Moonlighting.
Yes.
Which we did a first episode of Moonlighting. Unlike Moonlighting, this is engaging and you want to see more and what happens and how the story progresses.
Yes. Yeah. And it sets up the formula of the show.
Right. Mm-hmm. But as a person living in this time, this is just not the show I'm looking for right now. I'm looking for something a little bit more put on in the background, don't pay attention to, here's some jokes. That's the show I'm looking for right now. That's why I'm watching Three's Company.
Yes.
Another show we did the first episodes of.
Three's Company.
I'm well into the third season.
Yes, we have an obsession with Three's Company. So, I think in this time, maybe it doesn't work unless you're really looking for kind of that nostalgic.
Yeah, something nostalgic or something to really dig into, to watch from beginning to end and sit and pay attention to.
Yes, you do need to pay attention to what's going on.
Yeah. Because I can see them slowly progressing as he's getting closer or further away from getting home.
And he remembers more about like what he does for a living, and like, you know, his intelligence kind of starts surfacing more as he remembers.
So rate it.
You know, I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
With a recommendation, if you are looking for something, you know, it is very sci-fi. So if you enjoy sci-fi shows, and you're looking for something, you know, fun and kind of nostalgic to watch, I think you'd enjoy this show. You know what? I have the exact same opinion. I'm gonna give it a high 3, and if there wasn't so much other stuff on TV or streaming or available to me, I would probably watch more. But since there is, I'm not going to. But yeah, I give it a high 3 out of 5. Yeah. All right. That's it. That's great. Yep. That's it. Should we say bye? Yep. Take us out. Thanks for watching, Internet. You can follow the show on Twitter at What Else Show. We're also on Instagram at The What Else Show. Please like, subscribe, and share on YouTube. Leave some comments about the Quantum Leap, Scott Bakula. Yes. Bye, Internet. Bye, Internet. I mean, that was so stupid. I almost want to keep it in the show. Haven't decided yet. We'll see. Haven't decided yet.